Good afternoon, Aaron Smith.
Hello, Jason Thomas. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. I just had to turn off my Bowl TV. It was echoing in my background, but I'm doing well. Before we get the show underway, I wanted to just give a big shout out to Jason Belmonte, whose birthday it is today.
How about that?
37 years old.
37.
Yeah. And you know who else's birthday it is? This is a pretty amazing fact. It is the late Don Carter's birthday. So what are the odds that you would have, two of the greatest bowlers of all time born on the same day?
July 29th. How about that?
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. So that's just an interesting little factoid I thought I'd throw out right at the top of the show.
That is a dynamite way to start the PWBA podcast. Our guest today, TANNYA ROUMIMPER, going to be joining the show. She was on Splitting Boards a couple of weeks ago with you. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, be sure to visit our Backstage channel here on BowlTV.com. And if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, subscribe to BowlTV.com. Check it out. A lot of good stuff from that. But JT, should we start the show?
Let's just go with it. Let's go. People want to see TANNYA.
That's right. So with that, hi, TANNYA.
Hello. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
I just talked to you like a week and a half ago.
I know.
Everything's still good since then?
Yes, everything is good. Actually, I'm really excited for the. I don't know if people know. I don't know if people know about the tournament that will be in August 14 to 16. It's kind of like women tournament in St. Louis. So I'm very excited with that. It's kind of like a small tournament, but something to looking forward. That's what happened lately. That's been like I've been bowling like a little bit more to prepare for the tournament. But rather than that, nothing much.
Is that the Brad and Kyle one?
Yep. It's the Brad and Kyle. And they have like a tournament before that and like a double after that. So
very cool. Very cool. One of the things from watching that Splitting Boards episode, you said you were just finishing up or getting ready to finish up your graduate degree. So kind of how's that? I know we're a week closer from the last time JT had you on the show, but
did you get the degree yet?
Exactly.
Actually, technically, I already graduate, which is like I'm supposed to be like walking like May 26th. I think it's like that one is class to Queens, which is I didn't sign up with anything. Like I didn't sign up. I didn't buy the gown and everything because I will be bowling Queens. But I have like one more assignment that I need to like submit by this weekend, and I literally done. I cannot wait.
What's the assignment?
It was just about it's a project. You don't want to hear about it.
Oh, I do. Are you procrastinating it or?
No, it's not procrastinating, but it's like my degree is in MSL, so they have like a lot of different kind of like system kind of is to become a leadership, like 5 dysfunctional system of leadership, and so like the effect of why you probably hear about that. So we just need to like pick 2 what is our most favorite, and then we need to talk about it, the different about it. Gotcha. So that's my last assignment.
What's your degree going to be in?
MSL, Master Strategic Leadership.
Okay, gotcha. Now, what does that entail? What exactly do you study, and what do you become an expert in when you have an MSL master's degree?
To like a short story, it's like MSL literally like MBA without accounting, pretty much. So in MSL, it's more about like how you grow if you have like a business and stuff, and like how you want to be a good leader. And a lot of human resources people need to take MSL because it's literally like learn how to make a good team dynamic and how to like promote your team member to work more efficiently and be like a strategic leadership. Pretty much that is how my major is.
Gotcha.
And you're finishing up there at Mount Mercy University in, I believe, Marion, Iowa?
Yep, correct. Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Oh, okay, perfect. How did you end up selecting Mount Mercy for graduate school? We know you've been coaching and helping coach the team the past 2 seasons, but was the coaching a big part of it, or kind of how did you end up picking that path?
So when I did with Wichita State, I didn't take my OPT, which is, if people want to know what is OPT, is like a working permit for international student. Pretty much when you're done with your bachelor or your master degree, US government allow you to have 1 year and work in the United States. So after Wichita, I didn't really take that. I just like travel home because I don't really have a reason that I want to stay. And I make a promise to myself that if I already go home and one day if I decided or I feel like I want to go back to the United States, then I will move to the United States again and be a permanent resident. Is that what happened in 2017 kind of ish, like the PWBA started again in 2015, right? I think 15.
Yep.
Yeah, 15, correct. Yeah.
PWBA started in 2015. I was like have a family issue. My grandpa passed that year, so I missed that year. But then 2016, 2017, I joined the PWBA and I really like focused in my professional career. And in the end of 2017, I just look at my bank account about like how much money that I spend traveling back and forth and do like bowling stuff is really expensive to like travel between like Indonesia to stay. And I was like telling my mom, like, I'm going to move back to the United States because it's a smart thing to do. And I make my promise to myself in 2014 when I have that feeling that I want to go back again, I'm not coming back. And the easiest thing to do to stay in the United States, which is become student again. So I start looking at the opportunity, either like, you know, like my goal is to take my master and starting from that to have a green card or permanent resident, but it's the easiest visa to be able to stay in the United States and to be able to bowl is to be a student again. That's why I came across with Mount Mercy, and Mount Mercy in that time also just done with their first graduate assistant. And I know Andy before I go to Mount Mercy. I know Andy since like maybe 2013, 2014, because Andy is one of my best friend coach.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, you know, have everything happened for a reason. So when I look at it, the GA position in Mount Mercy just opened and I'm looking to become a student again. And I jump into the train and everything else is history.
Well, there we go. You know, many folks know you had just a tremendous career at Wichita State on the lanes earlier in the 2010s. But what was it like being, you know, kind of the weekend warrior again, going to tournaments, being in that collegiate atmosphere? What was that like the past 2 years for you?
It was fun. It's different. Like if I tell people that I always like a horse in a wheat field because Wichita is a shocker, right? And Mount Mercy is a Mustang. So that's I cannot pick which one. But when I against Wichita, it's just kind of funny because I will have this like inside joke with Coach V and Coach Al. Pretty much it's like Coach Al most of the time because Coach Al will stay with the woman,
Mm-hmm.
and I will actually like 3 years ago I was like staying with the woman much often. And then last year like Coach V already retired. So when I coaching the guys, Coach V is not there around. It's already like Coach Rick's Stidmill. So, but 3 years ago when I do that with Coach Al, like we just have like a lot of inside joke that you are a traitor, you are not wearing like black and gold anymore, and don't listen to her. Like it's just so funny. That's one time we like kind of like against each other, and Coach Al just like throw a roasting back to me, and it's like.
We had Rocio Restrepo on the podcast recently, and she had an interesting story about when she went to Wichita State, she didn't even barely speak English. So I'm wondering, did you have a similar experience when you decided to go to Wichita, or did you already have, a lot more experience with the English language before?
It's pretty much the same. I think like even though I stayed for 10 years, I still have that problem, like speaking English. It's not really like I don't understand what you say. It's more about the pronunciation. It's just really hard. because how like we even pronounce or like the spelling, the pronunciation about like ABC is totally different between my language and English. So even until now, even in like when I'm in the tour with like the board rep and something like that, if I like pronounce something wrong, it was just like it's always a battle. But I can speak English, but I don't really speak English much when I go to Wichita in 2010. But one thing about my personality that I glad that I have, I will not get offended if people kind of like make a joke about how I saying things or like correct me. And I think there's also the biggest key that I have, that my English is so much better throughout the year.
Yeah. How many different languages do you speak?
I only speak English and Bahasa.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know. Like in Indonesia, there's like 270 different dialects, right?
Yes, correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and most
but I will not call it like I speak like 4 language. No, I have different dialect that I can do like 2 to 3 dialect, but it's still Bahasa. So the only thing that you will notice is like if you speak really fast and then you cannot hear, like you cannot understand. But I can only speak Bahasa in Indonesia, Bahasa in English. Sorry.
No, when did you start learning English?
Technically, I didn't go to private school when I grew up. I go to national school, so we have English, but there's no a main language. Because back home we have national, private, and international school. Pretty much international school, 80% that you speak English, and Indonesia is only 20%. And private school is most like 50-50 between English and Indonesia. And national school is like 20% English and 80% Indonesia, which is there why I go. And pretty much like I'm really bad in English, really, really bad. Like I hate English subject. I just don't like it growing up. It doesn't matter if I'm in like 6th grade or I'm in 12th grade. I hate English. And actually, when I'm done with high school, I took like a year off of school. Like I didn't go to United States right away. I literally take 1 year just to do intensive English, but back home. Because like if you go to state right away and I need to go to intensive English, I cannot really bowl. And then when I do like the budget, it's like it's too expensive. Like I cannot get scholarship and I need to pay all this board and tuition and stuff, and I cannot even practice with the team until I enter the school. So when I was in Wichita, it's no brainer. Like it's stupid to go to intensive English in the United States and waste the money. So I take a year off and do my intensive English and make sure that I get the requirement to go into right way to college. So that's why I do between 2009 and 2010 and bowl the whole time, which is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it says a lot about the kind of person you are, that you didn't like English, but you chose to go to a college where all they spoke was English, right?
Yeah.
We got a question in the chat. I know. I thought this was interesting right off the bat. I'm not aware of any of your fellow Indonesian players who bowl the tour frequently. Why do you think that is?
It's like I say, it's really like expensive, like to travel like from Indonesia to state. And technically, if there's no COVID, actually one of my good friend and team member that I win 2 gold with her is going to come and bowl. She is planning to come to the United States for bowl the PWBA in 2020 this year with me, and literally bowl almost like the 2 months. So like kind of like the first 2 months, she will come and stay with me and we'll just travel together. And she pretty much already like sign up for the membership, sign up for the first 3 tournament and the Queens, and sign up for the PTQ for the US Open, because I tell her to do it all, and she also get reimbursed like I do. So maybe next year she still thinking to bowl, so there will be more than one PWBA member in the tour.
Nice.
Very cool. I had one, or actually two quick questions regarding Mount Mercy before we kind of get on to the PWBA stuff. At the Hoosier Classic earlier this year, the women's team ended up winning the bracket. So one of the cool traditions is getting to sign the masking unit and basically graffiti it, and it hangs up the next year. So Mount Mercy Mustangs all over that thing. But while the women's team was doing that, you were playing hacky sack with the men's team. So I was very curious. I wanted to know, because I thought about this year, I thought about challenging you during the season. Obviously that didn't happen, but how good are you at hacky sack?
This is really bad. This is so random question. I don't know how you like come up with this question. And this is so random, but yeah, because it's like, okay, like you guys know Hoosier is really long, right? And
it is, yes.
The boys bowl really good. We managed to like just snuck into the top 8 for the match play, and then we get knocked out the first round, and we kind of like have a little bit downtime like between all the guys because they bowl really good and they just like miss it by a bit, you know, like it's so close but so far. So they have their own moment. We actually like technically go to they have one burger place. It's really walking distance. I cannot remember the name of it, but it's a chain, but I cannot remember. But we went there, we eat like a big burger and french fries and have an ice cream, and then when we come back, like, you know, like bored, and we want to be there with the girls and stuff like that, and but at the same time we want to have fun also. So one of the guys was like, let's play this. So it's like pump up our energy also, and we become like laughing, and we still there because we want to be happy, and we are really happy with all the girls. So it's really fun, but I'm really bad at that, really bad. Like all the guys is like, we're done, we're not playing with you anymore. No, I'm your coach, so I can say whatever I want, and you need to like
there you go. No, my main concern was we had to go to the U.S. Open the next day after that because that was following that event, and I wasn't concerned about you. I was concerned about the guys, though, that one of them was going to kick that right into the live stream equipment and stuff was going to go flying everywhere, and then I'd have to have a coach or talk with Coach Andy, and then I have to call Jason Thomas and say, hey, we're not bringing this kit, hacky sack hit it. But
I still remember
that was fun.
Yeah, I still remember that the one kick that literally like just landed in between of the camera, and it's like, okay, we need to like stop. It's now like we can kick off, and it's like literally it's already like when the girls already signed it out. It's been a long day, and like we need to be done with this. But yeah, also it's like it's really cold in the bowling center because at the end of the day, it's like we become like smaller and smaller and smaller, and we all just like all like freezing. So doing that, we kind of like sweat a little bit, and it's not like so freezing, and waiting for the girls because they want to make the signboard looks like really, really perfect. And we just like, girls, let's go. Like we still need to have like 9 more hours driving home.
Do you play any other sports besides bowling?
Actually, I play golf lately, which
okay.
Is
are you good?
No, because I just started because of COVID, and like, you know, I mean, I live in Marion, Iowa, which is pretty much winter all year long.
Yeah, you can play it for like 2 months of the year.
Yes, exactly. So, but I've been enjoying it because I think.
Do you have someone who's been teaching you, or I know there's a lot of good players that bowl on the PWBA tour.
Pretty much I text like all my friends that can golf that I ask like what is the tip, but also I'm lucky enough because I'm a friend with the head coach of Mount Mercy golf team.
Oh,
yes.
Nice.
So then, yeah, so I was like, hey, do you want to like go golf? It's like, can you golf? No, really. Like I never golfed before. So I was like, okay, this will be fun. Yeah. But I'm an athlete, so I will be much better than any of like other player that you just like, you know, start teaching. And he is kind of like, I'm really glad that I know him because he kind of like teach me some trick and tips for a beginner. So it make the golf experience is more fun because I'm not just like hitting a ball, that I know like what I need to do to get better.
Yeah. Well, you know, like I said, there's a lot of similarities between golf and bowling, so I'm sure in no time you'll be taking people's money out there on PWBA.
But sometimes literally though, like I can have a really good day in the driving range, and the next day I come in, I cannot even hit the ball. I always like hit the turf first. It's like this is just bowling all over again. Like, you can like feel amazing one day, and the next day you have no idea what's going on, and it's like, ugh.
Just imagine that your ball rep's face is on the golf ball.
Wow.
I'm like the sandpaper is like I'm ready to play the ball.
Need a little more traction through this drive. Yes.
Yep.
There we go. I like that. One of the final things, MMU related. I was checking out your jerseys on the Coolwick page, and I noticed you had one dedicated to the team.
This is so.
It is random, but you mentioned it on the splitting board, so that's how I know about these things.
No, I did not. Did I?
Well, you were giving away a jersey.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay.
So I decided to look it up because jerseys are cool, and we find this one here, and you have quotes on it attributed to, I assume, players. So we have to know what some of these mean. Just line up for Brooklyn. Why did you gutter again?
Oh god.
We got.
I hope none of my former student watch this because this is hilarious.
But
yeah, those ones are interesting. Stab, stab, stab at 5:53 a.m. Those two could be related. You know, somebody gets me up at 5:53 a.m. I will stab them.
Yes. So, what is the question? Like, you want me to like tell a little bit the behind story of it?
I would like your favorite quote out of both sides and the backstory behind it. Yes.
Okay, technically, the favorite quote. It's not really favorite quote, but I'm not going to say it. I didn't mean it, but I will say it anyway. It's the stupid, like I feel really dumb and stupid when I do this, but it is a peep washout. So the story behind it is, so I came late to the first tournament that Mount Mercy has. It's like 2018 in like first week of October or something like that. I cannot remember what the tournament is, but I was late because I was coming from Asian game.
Mm-hmm.
So I arrived in the United States right away. I flew to the tournament and I missed the Saturday, and I was there on the Sunday. And then my best friend Melissa Sobolik was still working with me, and we are like kind of like a co-coach kind of ish. And the first thing that I do to a student, there was bowling, I was watching, we kind of like moving and stuff. And this one time, our best player in that time, she throwing a really bad shot and she leave a washout, and then she pick up her spare ball and she throw it and she literally miss it all. Like she like go through like the head pin and the 10 pin. And when she come back, I literally like my level of emotion is right here. And I flip and I say, it is wash out. And then all of them have a black face. And Melissa Soblik, my best friend, was like, pull me aside and it's like, you need to have a mental check right now. They are Mount Mercy goal, and their level is not like you, and their level is not like Wichita State. So you need to get your thing together and come back. Then it's become a joke until now. But in that like 10 minutes, everybody was like I feel like the parents hate me, everybody hate me, and like, who is this new coach? Like, what we get into? And I was like, okay, I need to like calm down a little bit because that's one of that. And then the one that I really like is the stab. It's like in 2018 also, I luckily enough to manage to help them to qualify for the ITC at the end of the year. And every time I kind of like wanted to pump them up, and every time I kind of like want to give them like a motivational speech, I always told them like, it doesn't care who they are, but we're going to like kill them like a knife. So we'll say stab. It's like McHenry, it doesn't matter, it's Wichita, it doesn't matter, like we're just going to like stab them like we have a knife. And like you're going to like stab them. So that's why it's like one of our cheers, like, remember Tanya, stab, 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 stab. It doesn't matter. So it's kind of funny.
I really want Tanya on my team now. Just
right.
Like this, so.
Scary.
So yeah. So then I was kind of like, I make a promise with the girls that if I ever bowl again in TV, I will wear that, and then like something like that for this year. But again, COVID need to go away. Like COVID, go home.
Yeah, I mean, did you tell that to Danielle before the U.S. Open match? I'm gonna stab, stab, stab.
But I didn't tell Danielle. But funny story, we have like a group chat, and literally like all the girls. I love I don't know. It's something that I never thought I will have this connection with these 8 girls. Like, I'm not discriminating or anything with the second year or the third year or the 4th year, but I feel like the first year as a GA and a responsibility as a like really a coach is like means really special. It's not like the second year that I have a new girl come in there it's still special, but it's never feel like special like the girl that have in the jersey, because I don't know, it's the first thing, and literally all of them kind of like texting me and it's like, don't forget, stab, 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 stab. I'm like, okay, I'll remember that.
If at first you don't succeed, stab, stab, stab.
Yeah. That's kind of like our inside joke. But yeah.
Nice.
All right. Well, we'll go with the less random questions now for the next few. So.
Okay. Because that too is the most that's the most random thing that you can like really detail, like I feel like it's really
we got some more random ones. We'll save them for later in the show.
We'll mix them in here and there.
Yeah.
But, when we look at the 2019 season, JT was talking about the U.S. Open. You made a pair of TV shows. Your run at the Queens was pretty remarkable. You lost your first match in the double elimination. Then you made your way to the TV show. You shot 822, a Queens record, and I believe that was your first 800 too. You shot a 300. You were in position to make the Tour Championship at the end of the season. Didn't quite make it. I just wanted to kind of, hear your assessment. What was your grade of your 2019 season on the PWBA Tour?
I mean, well, like if you see like by winning percentage, even by winning percentage, I think 2019 is the most successful that I ever been in my career. Even after the PWBA is done, I was bowling the SEA Games. I managed to win another gold, 1 gold and 1 silver for my country in just 2019. Like it's one of the best, I will say, in my career.
So is that like a B?
For what she plans to do in the future, then maybe.
Yeah.
More gold.
There's so much like I say, like if you guys haven't like watched my split board with Jason Thomas, you should watch but definitely I'm not going to grade it as an A, because even though one of us, there's still a lot of things that can fix, B. I will give a B plus about that.
It's good. It's
all
a
right.
Good grade. Good solid grade. B plus. B's get degrees, right?
Yeah.
And since you mentioned splitting boards again, we're getting a lot of use out of that show, JT. So that's a good show.
Yes, it was.
You mentioned kind of at the end of the show that one of the best takeaways I took from watching that was you mentioning you're not afraid or not being afraid of losing after that telecast. For the folks who maybe didn't catch that episode, what did you kind of mean by that? And, how did that affect your mindset moving forward?
What I mean by that, I've been working a lot with my mental game for the last 3 years, I must say, because I feel I'm good enough as a bowler. Yes, there's a couple tools that I can learn, but as a solid bowler, I will say I'm a good, solid woman bowler in the world. But why I haven't in winning circle yet? Why I haven't I get all this gold medal in SEA Game and Asian Game, World Championship? I have all of this, but why I haven't be in the winner circle in PWBA yet, and some of the other people that doesn't have as much as credibility that I am already in a winning circle, and I really like see and going like deeper and to the darker side and really like be honest to myself, like why the reason of it. And really it's just my mental. It's like I want to win so bad, and it become something like really like if I didn't win I might die. That is how I approach it. And it's not that like if you win the next day you still go back to practice. If you lose, it's literally like you still go back to practice. But how I see it is something like this precious thing that I need to get it, and I always go back that I'm not good enough because I never get the title. And every time I lose, even the US Women Open, when everybody was like there's a tough break, blah 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 blah, but I really put myself as a victim in that moment. Yeah, it sucks. You are the first one that lose because you are second place, but I see it as like I'm a victim. That why me again? Why I'm unlucky again? Why I lose again? I put everything the same amount of time, the same amount of energy, and the same amount of dedication, but why me again? Why I get hit by 295 average both year in my college career? I don't have any single ITC, intercollege single championship. I don't have that, but I make the TV show, final TV show both year, but they just decided to shoot 300 and 290 on me. Like, why me? You know, like I'm always become a victim of it. And I think one of the reason I didn't make the tour championship, right? At the end of the tour championship also, I think it's like really, I make like myself really to TV show, and it's always like make myself a victim. That's why I believe why I didn't make it and stuff, because still my mental is not strong enough. Like it's not about it and go on, like see why it's good that you can take, why it's bad, and move on. It's just another tournament. So that's why I mean about like losing that moment is really changing my mindset.
It's like the swingers theory of winning a title. Have you guys seen the movie Swingers?
I haven't watched. Now I need to watch that movie.
It's
one
great.
of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah. It's about swing dancing, right? Like these young guys swing dancing, and then about their dating lives and their whole life, right? So it was Vince Vaughn and Jon Favreau, kind of their debut performances where they became big stars. And one of the themes in the movie was Jon Favreau's having trouble getting a date, and Vince Vaughn's advice was, well, you're having trouble getting a date because you just keep putting it on a pedestal. Keep putting it on a pedestal, so you're never gonna. If it's so high up, how are you supposed to ask it out, right? So it's the same thing, right? You're putting the win on the pedestal, and because you're putting it on a pedestal, you can't get to it.
Yeah. So I think that's what I mean by when I'm saying it is a splitting board, because I'm really excited to put my new theory, a new system that I've been working on for past like a year to this year, and see if my result is better. But we need to wait. Everybody needs to wait.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I mean that show, that US Open show, it just showed what a small difference there is between winning and not winning. I mean, if the that hit that you left the 7-pin on, we do. I mean, we're at the USBC headquarters. We do experiments on these kinds of things. That hit carries 99 times out of 100, right? So, I mean, literally,
right. That probably doesn't make her feel better about it.
No, I mean, it doesn't, but it just shows you like how stupid the idea of the difference between winning and losing is, because there's really no difference, right? I mean, and like you said, if you'd have won, you'd have still went practicing the next day. It wouldn't have changed anything. So it's just an interesting perspective, in my opinion.
Yep. I totally agree. But I never like think about that before, like I feel like if I win that day, like I will be like, I don't know, maybe like a Middle East princess or something like that. I don't know, but they really like sit down and really like looking on your journal and really ask yourself what will really happen when if you strike in that moment, when that 7th pin fall off, what you really happen, what will really happen that time. I will spend more hours in a bowling center that night with like autograph and interview with both of you, like maybe an hour, and then I will go and have fun in Vegas, right? Because it was in Vegas with all my friends until midnight. And the next day I will wake up and, everything is still the same. I need to still work for the Bowl Expo. It's not that I don't need to work for the Bowl Expo. So when I literally like put all the perspective on the table, what really different when you win and when you lose it's really nothing much. So why you feel so bad and cry like you lose something? So it's just interesting perspective. I feel that I never think or, find out before, but I think that has really changed my mindset completely about seeing winning and losing.
Yeah, I'm sure when you do get that first title, it'll make you appreciate it that much more.
I hope so.
Now, you mentioned wanting to use kind of that mindset going into 2020. And I'm not sure if you're kind of a goal-setting person or not, but what were, you trying to achieve in 2020? Now we'll obviously take it to 2021, but what were kind of the goals coming into your next PWBA tour season?
Of course, the goal is always, again, I really want to be in that winner's circle. And the last 3 years I've been performing well, but it's always like really close for me to get to that tour championship at the end of it. So that will be like the second goal that I want. And the third goal that I really want is to make every single cut for that 12th tournament. That's kind of like the result goal oriented that I have. But the thing that I really want to work, which is it will now be noticeable because I will not get prize money or I will not get trophy, but it's really like working with my mind, like how I feel after I have a good day, or how I feel or how I think after I have a bad block or something like that. That's literally like the really goal that I want to work on because you can work that in like a small tournament and you can work that on like your practice, but at in actually bowling in the PWBA, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know there was one year you had you were basically a shoe-in to make the tour championship, but you had to leave and go bowl some tournaments back home for your team. I know, and the other thing too is I know you've been on the national team for a long time, for 16 years, which doesn't even seem possible when people look at how young you look. But just talk about, your experience bowling on the national team and, is bowling seen differently in Indonesia than it is here in the U.S.?
First of all, that American not familiar how we train as a team back home. It's literally different than how the U.S. team train. Like, for example, if you guys go to the World Women Championship or World Championship, they will just meet like a week or so and then literally like meet in the destination of the World Championship. If, for example, in Vegas, everybody will just like travel to the Vegas and have a date that all of them need to be in Vegas in that certain date. Or like, for example, they travel to Doha. If they're in Doha, they have a certain date that the coaches of the US team give them, and they need to travel by themselves and arrive in Doha in that certain date. Back home, it doesn't mean like I'm from Indonesia, but pretty much just work the same with Singapore, Korean, Malaysian. We actually train as a team. Like, we cannot have a W-2 job. We need to commit to be becoming a national athlete. We will stay in a mass, like all of us together. And if you have a family, you can visit your family during the weekend. And we train and we work out pretty much 5 days a week together as a team. That's how I grew up back home, and how like we.
And you have been doing that since you were 15, right?
Correct. Since I'm 15. Yeah.
So you lived away from your family? Is that when you were 15, so you could train?
This is I need to like give a shout out to my mom really quick, because this is one thing that most people didn't know. My mom is really big at education, like really big. So my mom is really education before bowling. And my dad is bowling first before education. So when I'm 15, I'm still in high school. So technically my mom actually drive. So my home is 2 hours. My home is in Bandung, which is 2 hours drive from Jakarta, and Jakarta is the capital city and where it's like everybody train. And my mom didn't allow me to transfer school. So our schedule from Monday to Friday is we will wake up at 6:30 and my mom will drop me to school, and I will be in school until 1 o'clock. And my mom will pick me up. And when my mom picked me up, she already have my lunch and my changing clothes and the thing that I asked her to bring, like for homework and stuff. And then we will start driving for 2 hours to 2.5 hours. And I will eat my lunch. I will change clothes when we get to highway. And then I will start with my homework while my mom driving. And when we will arrive in Jakarta around like 3:30 to 4:30 is depending on traffic. And training start at 5 until like 7:30. And then 7:30 until to 9, we have like our workout. And then my mom will drive me back to Bandung, and I usually already sleep in the car because the next morning I need to wake up at 6:30 again for the next day. So pretty much that's my schedule for almost like a year and a half.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, did like the other kids in school know that you were like this big time, like, I mean, because you were like the top player on the team, right? I mean, when you were 15, like, did they know you were like the best bowler in the country?
Yeah, it's pretty much like my not like the entire school is kind of no, but I really fortunate enough also that my teacher back then is kind of like supportive about it, and like pretty much like my friend also is kind of supportive about it. So without them also I would not be able to do it, because sometimes when I have a struggle or anything, like my friend will always help with homework, and the teacher is always allow me to do either like I do the exam first, or then I need to like take the exam after if I need to like go to a tournament or something like that. So I'm pretty fortunate enough that I have a really good support system when I'm still in school. So I still manage to get done with my high school, and I still be able.
You broke up at the end there, but it's such an interesting story. I mean, and the way the national team structured, it's like a job, right? I mean, they're paying you, to do this, and
Yep.
then I'm sure you get like additional incentives if you do well in competitions, right? So I mean, there was
Right.
probably a lot of pressure on you when you were just a kid.
It's just like you have a W-2 job. It's literally like 9 to 5, but the 9 to 5 is kind of like you train and you work out and you train again as a team. That's why if you become a national athlete back home, you cannot really have any other job, because you really sign a contract with the government for a certain period of time.
How does that work now, with you splitting time, on tour and still bowling for the national team? Is it because you're such a stud that they don't hold you to the same rules anymore? You're like Michael Jordan and you can just come to practice whenever you want? And
First of all, I don't want to offend anybody, but second of all, it's kind of like that right now. I do believe that I put a lot of hard work, and I do believe that I'm honest. So I kind of tell them, this is my job. I cannot stay in Indonesia because my goal is bigger than like pretty much. I don't want to sound cocky, but I want to achieve bigger than other person back home. That's why I'm here. That's why I bought the PWBA. And I just explain it to my government, and I explain it to my federation. This is my goal. This is it. What I do. I'm not here like, drinking margarita with you guys. I still bowl. I still practice. And I just make sure that I have a good resume every single year, so they know that I still perform. So when I ask them to be lenient with my practice, that I don't need to be there. Or for example, if I have SEA Games rather than to be there for 3 months, I can tell them I can be with the team a week before the tournament, and then we will bowl the tournament, and pretty much they're allow me to do that, which is I thankful for the federation, but that's how I do it for the last like 5 years and so when I traveling.
Yeah, and you mentioned, you know, you had one of your best performances, you know, in international competition last year. So obviously, I'm sure the time on the PWBA tour isn't hurting your sharpness. But I think a lot of people don't understand how good the players are from Asia. I know, you know, we have the teams from Malaysia and Singapore come over, and they do very well in the limited time that they're over here on tour. But there's one team in particular that hasn't even come over and bowled on the PWBA, which might actually be the best team in Asia, which is the South Korean team. Tell
Right.
people watching who may not understand how good those players are.
They are like a robot. Like most people didn't know, and I know this might like sound a little bit extreme, but in old days, like we're talking about like 10 years ago, their team, like the coaches are so strict, and as the culture itself, they're really respectful for older people. But 10 years ago, the coaches can like slap them in the face if they like miss a single pin.
Wow.
That's how strict they are. Like they're not that strict anymore at like right now, but still they're really respectful to the coaches. They have a crazy schedule. Like we went to Korea for 2 weeks to train with them. The schedule is literally like in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, they will go to the gym together, and then they will eat breakfast together, and then they will go train, and then they have like a break, and then at the evening they will go train again, and they have a curfew, and that one is pretty much 24/7. That is how crazy the South Korean are, and it's not literally you are not flexible at all. That's why they don't come or haven't come to PWBA yet, because they cannot just like, hey, I want to fly to your state and bowl PWBA. You cannot do that. They do everything as a team, but because they have a point system in South Korea as a team. So for example, they have a point system until like 10 points. So if they win gold medal in World Championship or SEA Games, they will have 1 point. When they reach that 10 point, they will have a fixed salary for the rest of their life until they die. So that's why they are really
Wow.
strict.
Yeah. It's very
So-
interesting.
Yeah.
You know, and I think people don't realize, like, I think when people think of Indonesia, they think of, you know, this tiny little, you know, island, and it's actually, you know, 17,000 different, literally 17,000 different islands, 6,000 of which are inhabited, and it's the 4th largest country in the world in terms of population. But you live in kind of where the capital is, right? Where is
All
that?
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, are all the players on the national team typically from that area, or do they come around from all the other islands as well?
They come around from the other islands, but pretty much when you want to become a national team, you need to move to stay in Jakarta, because everything happened in Jakarta. Because we need to train together, we travel together. So we have a couple people that come from like other island, but I will say 75% of the team is from the island.
Gotcha. And I know in the Philippines, you know, bowling is one of the most respected sports, and in fact, Pang Nepomuceno was voted the Filipino athlete of the century.
Yep.
Is it the same in Indonesia, where people have a high degree of respect for the sport?
Unfortunately, back home, the sport they really like badminton is really big back home. Badminton is the #1 pretty much sport that we respect, because we have like a lot, like our first Olympic is from badminton, and badminton is like a really I think I will say is the most respected sport in Indonesia.
Do you play badminton?
No, I can play, but I'm not really good. But I really hope.
How do you get good at badminton?
Huh?
You know who's really good at badminton is Stephen Padilla, who's the director of coaching.
Really?
Yeah, he was like a
Oh, I
big
didn't
time
know that.
badminton player. Yeah, you have to ask him about it. challenge him to a match.
I think like every Indonesian can play badminton. I feel it's just like that's like how big badminton back home.
I always used to.
I'm not saying they're good, but they can play.
I don't think I'm very good, but I liked playing. It was fun.
Yeah, badminton is fun. Definitely.
That was so interesting. I can't wait to talk to Steven after the show now.
Yeah. He was good. He was like a ranked player. Yeah.
He's a record holder at the Open Championships.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if he ever beat
player.
any professional Indonesian players, but according to him, he was pretty good at it.
Interesting. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Tanya, we kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier in the show about the success you had at Wichita State, a 2-time Player of the Year. And we've talked to a lot of players who have that Wichita State background. So obviously the Shockers and Coach V and Coach L are very well known to us as well. So we always like hearing some great funny stories about the coaches. So if you got like a favorite story, you kind of told the one about Coach Lewis calling you a traitor now, which is just rude on his part. But if you have some favorite stories from when you were competing for them, we'd love to hear that.
I think like pretty much I need to say it. Coach L nickname is L Dog for everybody to know. We call him L Dog.
Start using that.
Yeah, funny story. First of all, it's like 6 years ago, but funny story about Coach L and Coach V. I cannot think one out of my head, but because like the traitor is like in my head right now because it's like you're a traitor now. You're not like black and gold anymore. Like that's pretty much every single time I saw them. That's what I see. But again, even though they say that about me, but they still like sitting in the front row when I bowl for the Queens in Wichita, which is they show how they never leave their alumnus from Wichita. Like they will always be there. There's like the first text that pretty much I will receive is from them. It doesn't matter if I'm in Mount Mercy, graduate assistant, or whoever you are, or wherever you are, they're always looking and they're always like following your career, which is say a lot about them.
Certainly so. Two of the great individuals in our sport. So shout out to both of them. We're coming up almost on the hour here on the podcast, and JT, we found a late addition to our list of questions prior to the show. I know
are we going to do the YouTube channel?
I believe that this is time for the YouTube channel. Yes. So I'll let you go with that.
Well, I wasn't aware of it, which I was kind of disappointed about because Aaron told me about it just prior to the show, and I went on and watched a couple of videos, and it's like my new favorite thing on YouTube now. So we got the mukbang video.
Well, here's the page itself. We can bring that up if you want.
Yeah, let's give people a little taste of that, because that's well. First, let's pause it for a second. So first, explain what a mukbang is. I know what it is because my wife's Filipino, so we do mukbang all the time. So, but explain what it is.
It's pretty much you just like buy a lot of food, and in this video is like McDonald's, Taco Bell, and Chick-fil-A. That's the theme, and it's actually originally from South Korea that people just like cook a food but in a large size, and you try to finish it all in one sitting. And usually in Korea they do the mukbang in their YouTube live, so people will comment on it and kind of like eating by yourself, but not technically eating by yourself because you have interaction with other people. And yeah, that's pretty much some mukbang is.
Yeah. All right, let's watch it.
No. Okay, by the way, for all of you that watch, please subscribe. Make sure you guys subscribe.
Yes.
Subscribe.
That is the goal.
Yes. Make sure you guys subscribe.
I like this song, though.
Yeah, this editing is awesome. There's like is that you?
Yeah, it's all.
Where is that?
It's
I
in
want to live there.
Iceland. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's just so awesome.
Can I have the Crunch Wrap Supreme? Hi, can I have
I know.
number 9 2 cheeseburger meal, please? And can I
Just, like,
have
showing people, like, how much I
McFlurry,
can-
please? I have the 8
Is this all like
pound
just
chicken
one
nuggets,
after
please.
another? You just went
Yeah,
from, like
I just
one
want
guy-
like one after another and like
Yes, correct.
Here you go, straws in the bag for you.
buy it and
Thank
and
you.
also I like
Welcome
with,
back to my
mukbang
channel.
because I
And
feel like
today
I
I'm
like my
going
day
to
also, so I can I'm not feel guilty doing all those stuff.
this Korean word. One of my
Look-
friends spelled it
look
out
at all that
for me
stuff.
how to pronounce
I know.
it. And we believe we need to pronounce Korean wise, which is kind of like our language. Muk from ngamuk. Ngamuk is angry in my language. And then abang means older brother, so it's
Yeah.
mukbang.
angry
You
older
know what?
brother.
One thing that people know about me, I'm really good at pronounce things. Like that is a joke.
Yeah.
I cannot even pronounce number 3 for the
That
longest time. For the
oh,
longest time. For the
that's
longest time. And
That's really
it's
true.
kind of like
Three
the
and
joke.
3 is like
for
it's
my
really
friend.
hard.
So I'm going to pronounce it mukbang, but I don't know. I might wrong. Let's begin.
Yeah.
Fries are an excellent choice. Waffle fries.
Yeah. And it's from Chick-fil-A, so you cannot go wrong
I
with
don't know if I can
Chick-fil-A.
finish this,
Very true.
all of this food, but I'm going
Yeah.
to try. Which is,
Do you guys watch this?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Like the, and also
I'm gonna-
I
It was called research at the
Oreo
time.
McFlurry because I feel the best way to eat French fries
Yeah,
is
that
to dip
is.
it
Got
on
my
the ice
kids
Do you
cream.
guys
doing
eat
that.
French fries with ice cream or no?
My
Yeah.
kids do it, and I've
I've never
never
done that.
tried it. Yeah, I heard it's great. Yeah,
It's so good.
Yeah.
That's the best thing ever. You guys
Yeah.
should
For you guys
try
their
it.
favorite is Wendy's Frosty.
Yes,
right.
Frosty.
Yeah,
Yes,
they say
chocolate
that's the
Frosty
best.
With
Yep.
yeah. I
Yep.
almost
For you
want
guys
to
that
go to
never
like
eat
Wendy's when I do this because it's
French
like
fries
my
like
Wendy's
that,
is really like
you are
opposite
missing out, my
McDonald's.
friend.
Just
You
like
are
the
missing out.
Frosty.
Because
Yeah.
I was like, nah, it's too much food. It's too much food.
Now, at some
It
point
is
in this video, you
best
call
way.
Chris Vi, right?
Yes, I call
So
Chris
it's French
Fry,
fries.
call Danielle, I guess. Yes.
Now,
Let's call a
was that
friend.
because those are the two people that are least likely to do
Let me
this?
check. Who should I call?
Pretty
That
much when I called both of
never
them,
answered the
they
phone.
didn't answer me.
People
That's
don't like
like,
me.
I was like,
They never
whatever.
answer my call.
But
Let's call. I hope he answered my call.
yeah, I called both of
I
them
doubt
and
it,
just
but
like
let's
none
see.
of it like picked my phone, which I was pretty mad at the time.
Like the thing that's amazing to me is like, look how skinny you are. Like how is it possible that you, like if I ate that, I would like instantly gain 20 pounds. That's a good, nice face there.
See?
Rude, Chris
Oh,
Vi.
you-
Rude.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice
Exactly. I was so pissed at that moment. Like,
Nobody answers their phone anymore. You gotta text them.
exactly. Sometimes when you text them and they just like answer it, and then when you call, they didn't answer. Like what?
Funny part, before I do this video, I asked all of you what fast food restaurant that I should go get my food from.
I hate listening to
And
my own
of
voice.
course, the number one
That's the
pick
thing that I hate
restaurant
about this.
is In-N-Out.
This is the thing that I hate about YouTube because you need to like technically
thing
like
is,
edit it, and you need
I
to
live in
hear your
Midwest,
own voice. And I was like,
which is pretty much just nothing that I wanted to fulfill.
Everybody
I
hates the
don't
sound of their
like
own
it.
voice.
I feel it's
Yeah.
so. I don't
I
know.
wish
It
we do.
sounds so
but-
weird.
I have to clip out
We don't.
clips of the highlights of these podcasts, and every time I have to listen to
Because
my
this is
voice,
also the
I
first
want to
time
throw
I
up.
order the
Exactly,
crunchy
I don't know
wrap
why.
from Taco Bell. I
Yeah.
always order
Aaron's voice sounds fine, but
uh,
mine is
chicken
terrible.
quesadilla.
I can't do it.
I feel that
I-
is
I
the
just like that
best
part,
out
too.
of Taco Bell's.
And then when you edit it, you need to like go through it like multiple of time, right? And you need to watch it again. You need to
Yeah.
watch it again and
Yeah.
feel, like, which part they like make you
And
like
I
like if
It's
you cannot
terrible.
like,
Google
watch it
the
by yourself, like how people will
This
watch
is
it,
one
you know?
of
So you
the
need
most
to edit it and you need
famous
to hear
order
it
from
again.
Taco
And
Bell,
like,
so which is
oh,
hard.
it's
It's
not-
like torture.
United.
Yeah,
It's very good.
like literally like torture. I agree with you. I agree with that.
Like Adam Driver,
Oh,
he won't
don't
even go to
forget
like the premieres of
cheeseburger
his
from
movies because he
McDonald's,
can't stand
white
watching
cheeseburger.
himself on camera.
I always
Really?
like
Yeah.
cheeseburger.
Yeah, he
always
gets
simple,
physically ill.
and it's really good.
So one of my niece watched this, and then the next day she called me and was like, "Auntie Tanya, you will die if you eat like that." And I was like,
I'm
and
not
she was
saying
like
that
3 years old, and it's like, no, I didn't eat like that every single day. I just
traveling the
make
world
that.
and trying
And I
McDonald's
kind of
from
like
different
explained it to
country
her, like what is
because
mukbang
there's
is,
always
and
like
like it's just so funny. Like
mistake
you're like, can I call
that
Auntie
you can
Tanya? And
go,
it's like,
especially
you
if
will
you're
die if you eat
traveling with
like that every
picky
single day.
eater
It's
like Tommy Jones or Shannon Bilhowski. You always need to go
All
to
right, JT,
McDonald's.
should we let them watch the rest of it on her
Yeah,
plate?
let's save
All right.
save
So
some
good.
for them.
Especially
But
their
this was one of
teriyaki burger.
Oh, teriyaki burger.
So good.
I love that video. I mean, it's my favorite. Like it's gonna like when you go to YouTube and you watch a couple of videos and then it'll like give you every other similar video.
Yeah.
Like my whole YouTube feed's gonna be Tanya Roumimper videos now.
So Tanya, what was kind of and you got a few different videos on there for right now, but kind of what was the inspiration for you to start this page?
Pretty much my dad already told me like to like do it since like I don't know, like maybe like 5 years ago, because I travel a lot, and why don't you share that to other people? And then really like it's just because COVID. Like COVID sucks, but COVID really also bring a lot of things to my life, I feel. And one of them also like just really focus and do the YouTube and really like make it live so I can share my experience. And I really want to share my experience to all Indonesian that want to become an athlete. It's not really just bowling, it's anything. Because back home is the stereotype you need to be smart kids, go to United States and to get scholarship in United States. And I really want to share my experience to them that no, you only need 2.3 GPA to get a scholarship if you are good at sport. Yes, you can go to Vanderbilt. Yes, you can go to Nebraska, and you don't need to have 4.0 GPA to get scholarship if you're good at sport. That is really like the behind it. Why I want to like show it, and I hope one day it will touch someone back home that like, oh, I can also do that. Like I don't need to be those smart kids to have a scholarship in the United States.
Yeah, it's interesting you talk about how, it's important that you give back to your, home country and the people there. Because I think a lot of, like you said, you wanted to be, very politically correct about how you answered those questions about being able to live in the U.S. But it's clear from the message there that, helping out the folks back home is really important to you, right?
Yep. That's like one goal. I want to give back to bowling, but I have two goals I really want to reach in the later in the future when I'm kind of like older, which is helping people back home that want to become a student. And also I really want to impact bowling back home so it can grow and become bigger sport back home.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right.
Do you want to save the binge watch for very last? Because I have like one more
absolutely
kind of thing I want to ask about.
Fire away, JT.
So, we talked a little bit about like your goals for next year, but like, where do you want let's think a little bit further ahead than that. Like, what do you want, think through like your career. What are you hoping to accomplish in your career, and what do you hope people say about you when your picture's in the Hall of Fame downstairs below where my office is sitting right now? What do you want people to say about you?
I don't know if I can get to the Hall of Fame, but I really want to touch other people, and one day when I'm like old and have like white hair, like, oh, Tanya touched my life, or oh, Tanya helped me to do this. So really that is kind of like deep down really the goal. Of course, I want to be inducted in Hall of Fame someday. Of course, I want to go to the winner's circle. Of course, I want to get gold in World Championship. I want to do all those. Of course, I want to be like Player of the Year. But now that I'm not that young anymore, even though people still say like, "Oh, shut up, you're still young."
Shut up, you're still young.
Exactly.
Wait till you get like my age.
Exactly. But I really do really like making this YouTube and really like trying to come up with a content. I really want to do that. I really want to help someone. I don't care who they are. Like I really want to have a young kids. It can be a boy, it can be a girl, it can be a bowler, it can be a soccer. But I really want to help those people to kind of get their goal or dream in life and make their dream come true. I really, really want to like have one Indonesian kid and help that person go through the process to get a scholarship as student athlete in United States and really do that for that person. I really want to do that. That's kind of like what is kind of my goal. It's not really like bowling related, but I do really have passion on that, and I just want to give back in that kind of way.
Excellent. Excellent stuff there, Tanya. Before we get to our final question, obviously we've talked about the YouTube page and folks should go subscribe to that immediately. But where can folks follow you on social media? What's the best place to stay in touch with you?
You can always DM me on my Instagram, which is just at TANNYA ROUMIMPER, and my YouTube channel also is my name, TANNYA ROUMIMPER. That's the two biggest thing that you can get in touch with me, and I will try my best to answer any message or any comment that you leave.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, Tanya, final question here of the day, how we usually wrap up the podcast. What are your binge watch recommendations for the good folks watching at home right now?
So since we're talking about Korean team, I'm a big fan also of Korean drama.
Oh, yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Yeah.
So, people would be surprised.
Yep. And I'm not like a fanatic Korean drama, but I enjoy watching Korean drama. And literally right now, I'm obsessed with It's Okay Not to Be Okay. So it's on Netflix and they have a subtitle. So for all of you that want to watch it, it's a really good show. And it's like they have a lot of moral story on the show. So you should watch it. It's Okay Not to Be Okay. It's good. It's really good.
All right, very nice.
Have you seen Parasite?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, what did you think about that?
It's too dark for me.
Yeah?
It's too
It was pretty
heavy.
dark. Yeah.
It's too heavy, but I like it. I like it. Like It's Okay Not to Be Okay. Also, it's kind of like in the dark side of it, but it's not as dark as Parasite. So
Parasite was funny. I mean, obviously it went pretty dark, but
exactly.
But it was yeah. I mean, that was what was so surprising about it, was it was like you're laughing the whole time, and then all of a sudden it's like all this weird stuff happens.
Yep.
Yeah, but anyway. So yeah, the Korean shows they're the best. My wife and my son watch them together religiously, and sometimes I'll get sucked in and watch with them a little bit, and I always enjoy it.
That's pretty much. Do you want to give like?
We lost you there. What was that?
I mean, I'm just I'm just curious. Do you want to give like an American show? But I don't have anything right now because I'm really like obsessed with this Korean drama. So I've been watching Korean lately during this pandemic. So I don't have anything like US show or something like that.
That's fine.
Hey, that's all right.
Yeah, I vouch for it. So not that makes any difference. I mean, probably make people not want to watch it, but I think that's just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Don't forget to subscribe, people.
Yeah, subscribe. We want to get
button.
you over 1 million.
I will.
We need more bowling fans.
1 million, the first phone call, I will call both of you.
I mean, if McDonald's and Chick-fil-A is going to get us to 1 million, that's fine. Whatever you got to do, it's better you than us eating all that food. Any final thoughts, final words before we call it a day?
just please to everybody that watch this, that if you guys still get out of the house without the mask, just please wear your mask. I know it's uncomfortable. I was just done with like 4-day clinic with Mount Mercy summer camp, and that's the first time that I literally need to like experience it to wear a mask for like literally 10 hours. It's so uncomfortable, but if I need to do that so the PWBA tour can come back as soon as possible, I will wear it. So this is my last thought. Just please wear your mask and follow the rules so we can go back to our normal life soon.
Yeah, I saw
the PWBA, folks.
I saw an ER doctor tweet recently. He said, for those of you who think you can't breathe wearing a mask, you don't want to get COVID-19.
Yep.
Then you really won't be able to breathe.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
That's really true.
All right, young lady. Well, that was a lot of fun talking to you.
Yes,
It was. Thank you for inviting me. This is great. I appreciate it to invite me.
Good luck in St. Louis. Take money from those two punks, Kyle and Brad. Don't let them.
I'll try.
Don't let them push you around. Awesome. Well, we will talk to you soon.
Thank you so much again, and thank you for watching. And I hope I can give you guys both a hug soon.
Yes, we'll hug you on
virtually
for now. Yeah.
But I hope we can see each other soon.
Okay.
Absolutely, yes.
See you soon.
All right, thanks, Tanya. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, sir, another fun show.
That was super fun. Yes, that was the longest video we've ever watched.
Yeah, the YouTube channel. I could still be watching that.
Well,
I'm gonna go watch it as soon as we sign off.
If anyone tries to email JT for the rest of the day, that's why he's not responding.
If Tanya tries to call me and I don't answer my phone, it's because I'm watching your YouTube videos, Tanya.
Well, now you know you should answer.
Yeah, I know she'll be mad, but at least if I'm watching her YouTube videos, maybe she won't be so mad.
But, yes, that was an excellent episode. Very fun catching up with Tanya. As we talked about a lot during the show, the Splitting Boards episode, opened up a few things, definitely opened up a few questions as well. But yeah, she's one of those players who, we're just waiting. She's one of those players who's on the verge of collecting that win. And she talked a lot about the growth that she made from that show. And, that's something I always try to take away from these podcasts and hearing the players talk about, and just, what they're doing to make that next step in their game, whatever it may be. And, from listening to Tanya on this and on Splitting Boards, it was very apparent to me that she is on the right path and going to be collecting that first PWBA victory very soon.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, she's won at every level. She's been a world-class player, internationally, for 16 years. It's just, stupid solid 7-pin. If it weren't for that, she'd have, a major title. She's made several major shows.
Mm-hmm.
Even before the PWBA tour, she made the Queens finals in 2014.
14.
So, I mean, yeah, it's hard to win on tour. That's the thing people don't realize. If you look at the list of multi-time champions, it's very small. It's less than 10 since the tour relaunched. So, I think we were talking the other day, and there's really only 4 players that have won more than 4 titles, right? And it's Rocio, Danielle McEwen, Liz Johnson, and Shannon O'Keefe. That's it. Everybody else is, 1 or 2 or none. So it's really, really hard to win. But I think, she's definitely in that class, probably the best player that doesn't have a title at this point.
Absolutely. Well, JT, we have brought up the strength of Splitting Boards so much on the show. We've talked about it so much, and I know we have an episode coming up in 47 minutes. Yeah,
I mean, this is going to be a great one. It actually ties in, I think, to the Tanya story a little bit, where, some of these tough losses that you have to endure end up making you stronger, making you better, and then making you appreciate, the wins that much more when you get them. And so we're going to have a conversation with Jacob Buttriff today about his 2019 Masters win. And even though, Jacob has a bunch of PBA titles, he's got 7 titles now, and he'd had some titles in and out. He was the next thing for him was winning a major. And he had some really close calls, brutal losses in majors. Led the U.S. Open by 600 plus pins one year and lost to Rhino, and then he led it by over 500 the next year, lost by a pin to Dom Barrett. Had another loss where he lost by a pin. Had another loss on the Hall of Fame Classic where he missed a couple spares, and then ended up winning this Masters title, and it was just like this big release for him. And so I'm really looking forward to talking to him about that and what that win meant to him here in a little bit. So if you have some extra free time in about 45 minutes, I would encourage you to check out that show. It should be pretty cool.
Definitely. Once again, that's Bold TV only exclusive Splitting Boards. So be sure to subscribe. Tomorrow, inside the OC, Matt Canzaro and I will be talking with USBC Hall of Famer Lenny Boris Jr. We have the Throwback Thursday match of the week. I know what it is. Let me look. There it is. 2018 St. Petersburg Clearwater Open. Diana Z and Daria Payuk bowling for the title in that one. Pretty cool story from that one. Daria averaged more than 241 that week.
Yeah.
Dominated on the way to the top seed, and Diana made her way through a very, very talented and young stepladder final to set up that match. So be sure to check that out. JT will be on the call for that one as well.
Yeah, difficult conditions on that show, and Diana just kind of plotted her way through it and won yet again. But that'll be an interesting show to watch tomorrow, and then or match, I should say. And then Friday, we've got another 20 greatest seasons.
Can't forget about Friday, big day. And JT, this is kind of a sad day. This is our final PWBA podcast with weight holds. So.
Oh yes, that's very disappointing.
So folks, remember August 1st.
Yeah.
Plug your weight holds. New USBC rules in effect as well. So.
Yeah. That's that rule does go into effect. So no more weight holes. It's kind of a sad day for some of us who like our weight holes, right?
That is true, but you get 3 ounces everywhere now. So, all right, folks, we're going to stop rambling here. We're going to go ahead and wrap up the show finally. We appreciate everyone joining here on the PWBA podcast. Big thanks to TANNYA ROUMIMPER. Remember, subscribe to her YouTube channel, folks. It's her name. It's
absolutely
cool. It's awesome. She edits all the stuff herself. She's awesome. And was just a great person in general. So
yes.
It's cool to be cool to her. So
yes.
do that. But for Jason Thomas, I'm Aaron Smith. Thanks again to TANNYA ROUMIMPER. We'll be back on the PWBA podcast next week. Until then, though, stay safe. And remember, Bowl TV, bowling lives here. Thanks again, everybody.